Kia ora whānau. Yeah, this is that artist conch that I did. I thought I'd try going underneath. And if you look at that, you can see the spore layer going up and down there, and that'll hit the Amadou layer. So there's two ways you can do it. This way, take the bottom off and all those up and down spores, or you can trim the hard outer shell off. But you've got to be very careful because it may be a thin layer of Amadou, which feels like a spongy, almost like a spongy suede leather. And I recommend put some hold on whānau. Yeah, I recommend putting some gardening gloves or something on as you're gripping your knife, because sometimes when you're cutting, always cut away from yourself, because you're actually putting quite a bit of pressure. This outer shell is really hard, so always cut away from yourself. And I always put some gardening gloves, or gloves, they're probably better because you still got all your dexterity when you're trimming that shell off. But yeah, just take your time. It's a lot of work. That's the shell and stuff. This is probably all the usable stuff. And when you see that white, that's sort of getting into the no good area. And then we're just going to trim this, slice it until we hit those spore layer. So I'm just using my boning knife. It's very sharp, ideal for slicing. It's a nice flat grind, and I'll bring you back. I think we've done it right, whānau. So that's what you want, is nice clean Amadou like that. That's not great because it's got those little impurities in it, but hey, we'll get by. And if you see that bit, there, that's just the start of the top of the spore layer. So it'd be interesting. Yeah, and again, that's the top of the spore layer. But you know, those bits are still, hey, they're usable. So here's a good example of the spore layer. Focus, and the Amadou on top. And there's our hoof. Probably get a little bit more off that. So, harvesting Amadou, and that's just off an artist conch. So I'll bring you back for a further video, and we'll boil it up and process it and nitrate it, and yeah, I'll show you how I process it. So ka kite anō for next part. So that's what I finished with Whānau. You can see these bits here. That's where you're getting down to the top of the spore layer. And I can't really go much further back into there. There's the spore layer there. You'll see a thin layer of Amadou on top, but see how that's curved like that. So yeah, it's it's not easy. So that's what we've got to play with. Just got to beat that out flat. Based on my research, don't use a hammer, metal. Try and find something wooden or rubber. That way you're not crushing the fibres as you're stretching and beating it. So just a little bit further to our Amadou processing of our artist conch in New Zealand. Ka kite anō.